Come on, try this.
You want to order the baby some French fries? The baby like French fries?
No, you don't like certain stuff.
Chrisean Rock's son just turned 3, and his early years have played out almost entirely in public. A pregnancy documented on live streams, a paternity dispute that dominated hip-hop headlines for months, and a family situation shaped by his father's legal troubles. Here's what's actually been confirmed, and how this story unfolded from the beginning. Chrisean Rock and Blueface's relationship itself became a major part of hip-hop's celebrity news cycle well before the pregnancy was ever announced. The two met and became publicly involved a few years back, and their relationship quickly became known for an intense on-again, off-again pattern, with breakups and reconciliations playing out across social media and, later, on their own reality series together. That platform gave both of them a substantial audience who followed their relationship closely, which meant that when the pregnancy news broke, there was already a built-in audience primed to follow every update. From the moment Chrisean Rock's pregnancy was announced, it became one of the most talked-about celebrity pregnancies in recent memory. Not through traditional press, but through live streams, social media posts, and reality television appearances that documented much of it in real time. Once the pregnancy became public, that same audience turned its attention to the child before he was even born, debating everything from due dates to what the relationship's future looked like heading into parenthood. The biggest storyline throughout that period was the question of paternity. For a significant stretch of time, speculation over who the biological father actually was became one of the most discussed topics in hip-hop online. Blueface, given his relationship history with Chrisean, was at the center of it, but the question was far from settled early on. There were public statements made and later walked back, denials and accusations traded across social media, and an audience of millions following every twist in real time. At various points, both Chrisean and people close to Blueface addressed the paternity question directly in interviews and live streams, often giving conflicting or evolving answers that only fueled more speculation and debate among fans trying to piece together the timeline themselves. Eventually, DNA testing was conducted, and the results confirmed Blueface as the biological father. That confirmation officially closed the paternity question, but the fact that it had played out so publicly, before the child was even born, set the tone for how much of his early life would continue to unfold in front of an audience. Since then, Blueface's presence in his son's life has been shaped significantly by his own legal situation. He's faced multiple legal issues over the past few years, including periods of incarceration tied to separate cases, which has meant stretches of time where he simply wasn't physically present for key moments in his son's early life. That reality has been widely reported and isn't in dispute. Court records and his own public statements have confirmed the timeline of his legal troubles overlapping with his son's first years. During some of these periods, Blueface has addressed his absence publicly himself, speaking on podcasts and in interviews about wanting to be more present once his legal situation allowed for it, and expressing regret over the time he's missed. Those comments have been covered widely by hip-hop media outlets tracking the family's story, and they represent some of the only direct, on-record statements either parent has made about how the ongoing legal and relationship instability has affected their approach to parenting. Chrisean, for her part, has continued to build a public platform around her life as a mother, frequently featuring her son in live streams, social media content, and public appearances. That visibility has made this one of the more closely followed celebrity family situations in recent years, with fans and commentators tracking nearly every public update, from custody arrangements to statements either parent has made about their co-parenting relationship. The public conversation around this family has shifted over time. In the earliest stages, most of the attention centered on the relationship drama between Chrisean and Blueface, the breakups, the reconciliations, the public arguments that played out across social media and reality television. As their son has gotten older, more of the conversation has shifted toward questions about stability and co-parenting, with fans regularly discussing how the ongoing back and forth between his parents might be affecting his day-to-day life, even without claiming to know specifics beyond what's been made public. This kind of shift isn't unique to this particular family. It reflects a broader pattern that's played out repeatedly with celebrity children who grow up largely in public view, especially in the reality TV and live streaming era. Audiences tend to start out engaged with the parents' relationship as entertainment, then gradually become more invested in the well-being of the child as that child becomes an increasingly visible, recognizable presence in the content being shared. That shift often brings with it a tension between the platform-building instincts that made the parents public figures in the first place, and a growing audience expectation that certain parts of a child's life should stay private, regardless of how public the parents' careers are. Both parents have addressed the situation publicly at different points, generally pushing back on the idea that their conflicts have overshadowed their son's needs, while some fans and commentators online have continued to raise questions about how much of his early childhood has played out in front of cameras, rather than privately. That tension between two public figures who built substantial platforms partly around sharing their lives openly, and a child too young to have any say in that exposure, has remained one of the more debated aspects of this story as it's continued to unfold. Custody and co-parenting arrangements between Chrisean and Blueface have also been the subject of public discussion, though the specific legal terms of those arrangements haven't been something either party has laid out in full detail publicly. What has been confirmed is that both parents remain legally recognized as his parents following the DNA results, and that they've continued to navigate a co-parenting relationship that's been visibly strained at various points, based on public statements each has made in interviews and on social media. Chrisean has generally remained the more consistently present parent in the content shared publicly, given the periods where Blueface's legal situation limited his availability, and she's spoken at times about the challenges of managing both her own public career and parenting, largely in the spotlight simultaneously. As for where things stand now, at 3 years old, this remains a genuinely ongoing story. Blueface has spoken publicly at times about wanting to be more present going forward, particularly around his legal situation stabilizing, and has occasionally shared updates about spending time with his son on social media. Chrisean has continued to be his primary and most visible caregiver in the content she shares, regularly posting about milestones, birthdays, and daily life. Neither parent has indicated the public nature of their family life is changing anytime soon, given how central that visibility has been to both of their public profiles, and, in Chrisean's case specifically, to the reality television and live streaming work that makes up a significant part of her income. What's clear from the publicly available timeline is this: a high-profile pregnancy played out almost entirely online, a paternity question that dominated headlines for months got officially resolved through DNA testing, and a father's legal troubles have limited how present he's been able to be during his son's early years. Beyond those confirmed facts, most other details about this family's day-to-day life remain exactly that: private, regardless of how much attention the public parts of their story have attracted from fans and media outlets alike. There's also a broader conversation this story has fed into about how the reality TV and live streaming era has changed what it means to grow up as a celebrity's child. A generation ago, children of famous parents were typically kept mostly out of the public eye until they were older, with only occasional, carefully managed public appearances. Live streaming culture has changed that model significantly, since a live stream by its nature captures whatever is happening in real time, without the same kind of editing or curation that traditional media once provided. That shift has made this story part of a larger debate happening across celebrity culture right now, about where the line should sit between building a public platform around your family life and protecting a child's privacy during years they have no ability to consent to being filmed or discussed. What do you guys think about how this situation has played out publicly? Do you think celebrity parents should keep young kids more private? Or is this just the reality of building a life in the public eye in 2026? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and if you want more breakdowns like this, check out the video on screen.